and close your eyes. I want you to be free of distractions so you can envision the following scene that I'm about to describe. Imagine yourself standing in the middle of a bustling sidewalk. People are pushing past you, hurrying about their business, having conversations on their phones or with people they are walking with. You don't understand any of the conversations, but you hear the general buzz of them, like an underlying current. You feel overwhelmed because you feel lost among the swirling crowd. But then, as if somebody flipped a light switch, everything clicks. You can now understand parts of the passing conversations. It is as if you knew the language all along and it was your native tongue. You feel a sense of accomplishment, a sense of triumph. Now open your eyes. That feeling is a feeling that many students who choose to study abroad get to feel on a regular basis. They are able to learn so much in such a short time that it creates a surreal situation, but students who study abroad are not the only ones who learn. Studying abroad enhances lives of not only the students, but the communities around them as well. Students who study abroad find that it is the best way to learn a second language because it is through total immersion. The University of South Dakota Study Abroad website talks about how studying abroad can improve language skills. For many people, learning a second language can be very intimidating because they don't understand verb tenses or grammar. Let's face it, most people don't understand grammar in their regular language. And so it gets to be overwhelming, and nobody really wants to take that class because they feel overwhelmed and they feel a lot of pressure coming from their peers who catch on more quickly than others, or from people who make fun of them because they're a little slower to catch on. Through study abroad, students can learn how to speak fluently more quickly because they only have the choice of listening to that target language that they are in all the time. For me, I was a foreign exchange student to Chile, and I learned Spanish fluently in about 3 to 4 months. I still struggle with some grammar and some different verb tenses, but I'm able to communicate effectively with many different Spanish speakers, not only from the country that I went to, but from countries around the world. An article on transitions abroad showed that an average of 86% of students who studied abroad showed a reinforced commitment to foreign language study. This proves the fact that even if you don't quite catch on completely fluently, like authors Lynn F. Jacobs and Jeremy Hyman talk about how difficult it is to learn a language fluently in such a short time, you still find that commitment to learning the new language even more deeper once you return from your exchange. And even if the student does not learn this to complete fluency, it opens new opportunities to job because they will have basic vocabulary under their belt and they'll be able to communicate. For example, even in the most basic retail job, if you can put down that you know basic Spanish in today's economy, it is a huge benefit to that employer because if somebody comes in, you can effectively communicate with them even to the most bare minimum of the amount that they need to pay or if they have a question about a size. Whereas some people who do not know the language and who have not studied abroad would not be able to offer that same opportunity to their employer. And even through a language barrier, as we just previously discussed, living within a different culture can help a student learn more and understand about that culture. We've all read about different cultures in different books, and it seems kind of like a dream, a far-off place that maybe someday we'll visit. And it seems interesting, but in the back of our minds, many times there's that doubt, like, does that really happen? Is that still part of a culture today? Or has that been lost as the years have gone by, with the culture growing into a more popular culture and TV adapting people into more modern society? Author John Irving once wrote, "My year of study abroad was the single most important year of my education, or perhaps more broadly, my growing up. I became so excited by the city and the history." This shows that students, once they are entered into that culture completely, they find more enthusiasm for learning about it. They're actually there. They get to meet people who grew up in that culture. They get to learn about it face to face instead of face to a page of a book. It makes the culture more real for a person. As the book, The Secrets of College Success suggests, Study abroad is a learning experience that will require classroom experience. Studying abroad is just that. You do study, you do attend classes. Some may be in English still, others may be in the language of whatever country you choose to go study abroad. But that is the benefit of studying abroad. You can earn college credits or any credits that you need for your specific program with different study abroad programs. This allows you to continue accomplishing your goals for the future while at the same time learning about new cultures and gaining new experiences as well as new friends along the way. And even though studying abroad is a learning experience, it also allows the ability to learn with a different culture. Many different cultures have different types of classroom styles. I've noticed from my own experience that America's classroom style is a little bit more relaxed. We're not quite as respectful to the teachers. In Chile, when a teacher entered, students would stand up and greet the teacher and then sit down. This was a sign of respect. The teachers also showed that same respect to the students, and students learned more effectively and more quickly. At their senior year, they were all learning trigonometry and statistics, most classes that people take in college here in America. And not only the student has the ability to learn from experience, but the student is able to help teach the community that they go to, as well as once they return, their home community, about their original culture and their target community that they go to, and when they return, about the culture that they learned from. Once a student returns home, they can talk about the culture that they learned about. They will be teaching their peers, their family, their friends, coworkers, about the culture that they learned about. They'll do this without even realizing it by just sharing fun stories that happened while they study abroad or things they found interesting. Even the most small facts that they learn and they find interesting that they'll share can teach a community better about the culture that may not be well known. While in the exchange, students can portray themselves where they came from in a better light and show the culture that they went to more about them. For example, when I was in Chile, many people thought Americans were just giant round tubs of butter that just kind of rolled around the city. That was the view that they had. When I got there and they saw that I actually understood some things and was able to communicate and I was friendly and not as cold as they thought, they had a new light on what the United States culture was like. Rotary International is a company that offers youth exchange programs for both college students and high school students. On their website, they talk about how their students are an ambassador for their own country while learning about the new culture. They go there and are required to learn about the new culture while at the same time teaching people about their culture from their home. This shows that Rotary is trying to improve international relationships starting at a young age. As anyone can see, studying abroad has many different benefits for the student as well as for the home community and their host community. Students can teach their host community about their home community throughout the entire exchange. Once they return home, they'll teach their friends and family about what they learned while they were on their exchange. And while on their exchange, students will have the opportunity to bridge that language barrier that many of us feel when learning a second language.